I mean, even with all the people here, they'd go right through the party yard. Just walk right through the party yard like nothing. Uh, right through people's sites. I mean, we had two of them. Our first year out here, we had two coyotes in our site. I about made a new door getting back in this rig when they showed up. Yeah, well, but also it's fun to go out at night and look for scorpions.
Good
Yeah, that's one thing I
morning.
regret not getting is a black light, and I
Just
keep
playing
forgetting
a
to get
game
one.
real quick.
Yep, coyotes arrive here when the rabbit population increases, and they. You know what? I think you might have mentioned that too before, Steve, when we were in Marana. But hopefully they'll be back next year, rabbits and that. That I've seen a couple coyotes, a couple different times. Really, only a couple. One was a pup, mid-sized pup. The other one was full size. One bobcat, a couple lizards, uh, one scorpion, and that's it. I don't even know if we have one of those. I wouldn't mind getting one that comes in a headlamp too eventually. Maybe. But then again, that would probably cost me.
Hello. I won't say your
Me up
name
to our
unless
door
you want
because I
me
got
to,
my own
because
stuff.
for some reason it likes to upload my chat now because I'm going through StreamYard instead of YouTube. So I know you're here. You're safe to talk in chat if you want. If not, I understand because the chat will be uploaded. Don't know how to delete it. So I am glad you are here.
Because we thought about doing Craggy Wash, but then we got looking at temperatures, and they're usually hotter than the quartzite, usually. So it will be Kingman.
My sister will be up in a minute. She is not in my basement yet. And I'm just playing a game.
I wonder if they do too. All right, let's go over here to the YouTube. And let's see. It did. I'll be surprised. No, I am surprised. Not be surprised. I am surprised.
Anyways, I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday morning. I am drinking a cappuccino for breakfast.
All right. Here is Hawkins Family Adventures live.
I'm listening to Roy and Becky. Cabos, they are sending people over for the meeting. A lot of them are very nice people. I've never had any problems with them. So thank you, Roy and Becky, for the raid. I appreciate it.
And do an R&B raid, please. No scorpions here in the Northeast. Are they crawdads? That's basically what we got in Indiana. We crawdads. They look like scorpions. They're in the
2 cups. This is my first one, but I already had a regular cup of coffee, so I'm good for now.
But everybody have a great day, and we'll see you over at Hawkins Family Adventures.
There she is, my wonderful co-partner here is my sister. Good morning.
Morning.
I gotta go over and close out the YouTube side. Hold on. There we go. Now I can see and pay attention. How's the lighting? I was saying now I can pay attention because I was listening to Roy and Becky on the other side. So
yeah, me too.
Thank you for the raid. I seriously appreciate it. And thank you for making me a moderator. So awesome to have wonderful friends. And
they're not over here yet.
Huh?
So they're not over here yet. He just told them to come raid you.
Yeah. Julian is here. I got permission.
Sorry, I'm a
to
little
say your
distracted.
name.
I just woke up.
Oh, woke up, you mean?
Yeah, and I could go back to sleep again.
So she just said, hello, sister, friend.
Hello.
So I did a live stream last night, and that was pretty awesome. I had quite a few people in chat, which is amazing. I usually don't do evening live streams, but since I'm not working, I can.
I also did something I don't normally do. I reran coffee through my coffee pot. Hello. Thank you for the Roy and Becky raid.
Thank you. I'm not going to say your names unless if you say it's all right. So, because chat will be uploaded. I still have not figured out how to delete it. And the only things I can see in my chat is here on StreamYard. I don't open up any other tabs. Thank you, Roy and Becky. I appreciate you guys for all that you do. And having amazing live streams. And I'm glad you're enjoying your stay there in Arizona. Except for that's a little too hot for me.
Hello, Troy. Yeah. Hello, Brene. They both said it was all right to say their names, and they're in the chat, so.
The rhythm and the blues raid.
Okay.
Awesome.
Hello, Fairy Dust. Sorry.
So, we have a few people in here. Should we start or should we wait a couple minutes?
Well, it's up to you. It's your live.
You're the co-host.
You're live.
You're welcome. You guys mean a lot to me. I came up on your live stream when I first started my channel. You guys welcomed me up there, and very encouraging, and I appreciate you guys for always making an effort to come in whenever you can and say hello. I know people are busy and they have other things to do, so I completely understand that not everybody can make it to everybody's lives, but I do appreciate you guys being here. And I do have permission to say Ava Potterfield and friends. Ava, you are an amazing friend. I'm so glad that I met you here. You have been one of my major supports outside of my family. When I have issues with certain things, I know I can call you. And same goes for you to me. So I'm going to get this meeting started with the Serenity Prayer. If you know it, say it. If you don't, listen. So here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I do put in here, there's no bullying, no judgments. It's all positivity in here for these meetings. So please keep it that way. And yeah. So I'm going to read the 12 steps and then we'll get into tradition 9. I do put it in description what book and what page and what tradition or what step. After we are done with this book, we will go to the big book, and that one takes quite a while to read. So I got to take my glasses off to see to read. The book. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 'Did you read that? She said you could call her name. Okay. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. Sorry if I already read that one.
You did.
9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except for when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continue to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admit it. 10. Continue to take personal inventory of ourselves and when wrong, promptly admit it. I already read that one. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. And on to tradition 9 on page 172.
Sandra.
Yes.
Take a breath in between sentences.
I suppose I could do that.
You run out of steam there at a point. You start to sound like you're running out of breath.
That's what happens when you have emphysema.
That's why you should breathe a little more. You don't have to rush.
Tradition 9. AA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards and committees directly responsible to those they serve. When Tradition 9 was first written, it said that Alcoholics Anonymous needs the least possible organization. In years since then, we have changed our minds about that. Today, we are able to say with assurance that Alcoholics Anonymous, AA as a whole, should never be organized at all. Then, in seeming contradiction, we proceed to create special service boards and committees which in themselves are organized. How then can we have an unorganized movement which can and does create a service organization for itself? Scanning this puzzler, people say, what do they mean, no organization? Well, let's see. Did anyone ever hear of a nation, a church, a political party, even a benevolent thank you, association that had no membership rules? Did anyone ever hear of a society which couldn't somehow discipline its members and enforce obedience to necessary rules and regulations? Doesn't nearly every society on earth give authority to some of its members to impose obedience upon the rest and to punish our expel offenders? Therefore, every nation, in fact, every form of society, has to be a government administered by human beings. power to direct or govern is the essence of organization everywhere. Yet Alcoholics Anonymous is an exception. It does not conform to this pattern. Neither its General Service Conference, its Foundation Board, nor the humblest group committees can issue a single directive to an AA member and make it stick, let alone mete out any punishment. We've tried it lots of times, but utter failure is always the result. Groups have tried to expel members, but the banished have come back to sit in the meeting place saying, "This is life for us. You can't keep us out." Committees have instructed many in AA to stop working on a chronic backslider only to be told, "How do I make 12 steps work? Is my business. Who are you to judge?" This doesn't mean an AA won't take advice or suggestions from more experienced members, but he surely won't take orders. Who is more unpopular than the old time? AA, full of wisdom, who moves to another area and tries to tell the group there how to run its business. He and all like him who view with alarm for the good of AA meet the most stubborn resistance, or worse still, laughter.
You might think AA's headquarters in New York would be an exception. Surely the people there would have to have some authority. But long ago, trustees and staff members alike found they could do no more than make suggestions, and very mild ones at that. They even had a coin. A couple of sentences which still go into half the letters they write. Of course, you are at perfect liberty to handle this matter any way you please, but the majority experience in AA does seem to suggest. Now that attitude is far removed from central government, isn't it? We recognize that alcoholics can't be dictated to, individually or collectively. At this juncture, we can hear a churchman exclaim, "They are making disobedience a virtue." He is joined by a psychiatrist who says, "Defiant brats. They won't grow up and conform to social usage." The man in the street says, "I don't understand it. They must be nuts." But all these observers have overlooked something unique in Alcoholics Anonymous. Unless each AA member follows to the best of his ability our suggested 12 steps to recovery, he almost certainly signs his own death warrant. His drunkenness and dissolution are not penalties inflicted by people in authority. They result from his personal disobedience to spiritual principles. The same stern threat applies to the group itself. Unless there is a proximate community, conformity to AA's 12 traditions, the group too can deteriorate and die. So we of AA do obey spiritual principles. First, because we must, and ultimately because we love the kind of life such obedience brings. Great suffering and great love are AA's description, something or another. We need no others. It is clear now that we ought never to name boards to govern us, but it is equally clear that we shall always need to authorize workers to serve us. It is the difference between the spirit of vested authority and the spirit of service, two concepts which are sometimes poles apart. It is in this spirit of service that we elect the AA Group's informal rotating committee, the Intergroup Association for the area, and the General Service Conferences of Alcoholics Anonymous for AA as a whole. Even our foundation, once an independent board, is totally directly accountable to our fellowship. And trustees are the caretakers and expediters of our world services. Just as the aim of each AA member is personal sobriety, the aim of our service is to bring sobriety within reach of all who want it. If nobody does the group's chores, if the area's telephone rings unanswered, if we do not reply to our mail, then AA as we know it would stop. Our communications lines with those who need our help would be broken. AA has to function, but at the same time, it must avoid those dangers of great wealth, prestige, and entrenched power which necessarily tempt other societies. Though tradition 9 at first sight seems to deal with a purely practical matter, in its actual operation, it discloses a society without organization, animated only by the spirit of service, a true fellowship.
Thank you for reading. You read longer than I did. I have to say that if it was all organized and if we didn't have
Yes, you can ask questions here.
Yes, you can. But this tradition is.
Brene asked a question.
Huh?
Brene asked a question. She said, okay, I don't know about alcohol addiction. In my thoughts, I think that years without it, still talking about it, is it best or still a struggle? I am asking so I can understand.
Well, if you're sober and you know that you're not going to drink or you do drink, if you can be an alcoholic, even if you do not drink for years. So if you were drinking all the time, then yes, if you quit, you are a recovering alcoholic. And so my suggestion for people that are doing that is grab a book. This book will explain so much of a lot of stuff in Alcoholics Anonymous. And a lot of our old timers, they went through the whole thing too. They went years and years without drinking, but they were still not okay, and always thinking about it, and they realized that they needed something to help them to get over those bad thoughts and the wants for the alcohol, because even if you're sober for years and years, you're still a suffering alcoholic. However, if you don't feel like you were an alcoholic, that's totally up to you. Nobody can tell you you are except for you, or even that you were. So, I mean,
Being an alcoholic is not being able to control it. It's when it becomes unmanageable, then you might be an alcoholic. That, like Sandra said, is totally up to you. How you perceive it. It's no one else's place to tell you. I know that even with almost 8 years sober, if I was to drink, I would not stop.
Yeah.
And I would probably die because I couldn't stop. So that's, to me, that is how I know I'm an alcoholic. Because I can't just go have 1 or 2 drinks. I have to drink until it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I know if I start, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I know I'm powerless over alcohol.
Yeah. Same for me, because I have gone out after being sober for a year. I went back out, and I didn't start out with just 1 drink, because once I had that first drink, I kept going.
Love you too, Ava.
Love you, Ava. Thank you for stopping in. It is good to ask questions.
Yeah.
I always suggest everybody that comes in for a meeting or goes to a meeting, if you have any questions, it's best to ask your questions, because the old timers can steer you in the right light of knowing if you seriously need it. They will try and help you no matter what it takes. They can answer your questions. I'm 8 years sober, and I still don't have all the answers. I just know for a fact that if I don't work my steps, I'm lost. And if I go back to the drink, I'm going to be bad. So I I don't think about alcohol hardly ever anymore. I used to dream about it every night. I went through those withdrawals. I did all of that stuff when I quit drinking. It's not fun. It's a struggle and an everyday battle with yourself, trying to remind yourself, this is a good thing for you. You need to do this. You like really want this. But that's what you have to do. You have to want it bad enough for yourself and admit it to yourself. Nobody else needs to tell you. If you feel that you are an alcoholic, then more than likely you are. But nobody else can go and say, hey, you're an alcoholic. I've tried to do that and it did not work. So I still have a family member that's out there boozing it up. Well, I actually have quite a few that are still out there boozing it up, and I can't tell them what to do. I have given one of the big books to one of them, and I don't even know if they've opened it. So that's what I do, though, is if I am able to, I give a book away. I've given plenty of them away. But if somebody is like, I really, really need to know what to do, where can I go, and all that stuff, this is my first thing right here. These books have so much information in them. It works. And if I didn't know that it worked, I wouldn't still be doing it 8 years later. So it works. Yeah, that's the effects of the alcohol. People do crazy things when they're drunk. I know when the first year that I got sober for that year, um, I was mean. And then I was like, "Why are you acting like that?" And I also, for a long time, thought that I was hiding it because I was going to get my beer and drinking it before I got back home, before anybody got up. And I thought I was fooling them, just to find out I didn't fool anybody. So, I didn't steal, but I was out there panhandling, like, "Hey, got any change?" And
Well, you were going and asking the neighbors.
yeah, I did that going down the street too.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the type of things that alcohol does to people. It makes them irrational and, you know, but I don't say everybody's an alcoholic. I don't think everybody
Be right
is.
back.
Okay. But these books work. You just have to want it for yourself. And that's the only way you can get sober and stay sober, is if you want it bad enough for yourself. You can't do it for someone else, because that doesn't work. And you can't take care of anybody else until you can take care of yourself. That's just what I have learned. Because while I was drinking, I was of no use to anybody. And my kids were teenagers, and I felt like I was the only one home, so who's going to really care, right? So I didn't think that they realized that I had been doing that and drinking all day while they were at school, until my oldest son brought me home a paper from school about alcohol and what it can do to you. I read it and tossed it to the side and drank a beer. How responsible is that? Not very responsible. But I do have to say, however, me being sober for 8 years, I have seen so many wonderful things happen in my life that I'm glad I was sober for. And some of it's not good and some of it's really bad. But ultimately, the good overweighs the bad, because I'm here, I'm alive, I'm not drinking. I don't crave for that drink anymore. And I've learned to tell people no, I'm not going to drink. So, and I do openly tell everyone that I meet, I'm a recovering alcoholic. That's just a fact about me, and it's never going to go away. It's going to be here for the rest of my life. And if that means people don't want to be around me, that's okay. That's on you, not me. And I don't judge people for things that they do. That's not my place. I do not do that. Yeah, that is. I have a lot of stories about people doing the drinking and driving, and the last one that I know about was a few years ago when we were camp. No, we weren't camp hosting that time. We were at a marina and we actually witnessed life flight land on the highway because up the highway where we used to work as camp hosts, matter of fact, in the last campground that we hosted in that season, a drunk driver went off the road and plowed over a family in their car and killed a 3-year-old. The guy was drinking and driving, and he killed 2 people, and the other one ended up going to ICU via ambulance, and he took his own life when he crashed. So it's sad when those things happen, but it makes me so glad that I'm sober, that I'm not out there drinking and driving, which I had only done once.
I used to do it all the time.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Very stupid.
Having a 3-year-old plowed over, it's not okay. But people don't listen and they just do what they want. And,
Hello.
Good afternoon. Yeah. I drank as a teenager. Not very often, but I did. And then I fought it for most of my life because I knew it was in my family to be an alcoholic. And so I fought it off for 30 years. And I hit my 30s and I started drinking, and it didn't take nothing much after that. So it was like a regular thing. I drank every single day from sun up to sundown. I had so much energy, but I was freaking flapping my mouth and not realizing that people were noticing that I was down the bottom of the bottle. And
Inebriated.
huh?
Inebriated.
What's that mean?
Totally out of it. Drunk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's from going to meetings, I have learned so much of people doing those things, driving drunk and all that other stuff, and I'm glad I didn't do none of that, because that would have made me feel totally like dog poo. But yeah. So this one, mine, we let me see. So we can't be organized because us alcoholics are never organized for anything. And we always forget something. Leastways I do, and she does. This is something that I wanted to read. He and all like him who view with alarm for the good of AA meet the most stubborn resistance or worse still laughter. Yes, that is very, very true. And then, well, let's see. Did anyone ever hear of a nation, a church, a political party, even a benevolent association that had no membership rules? We don't have rules. That is one thing that AA does not have.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming in. So we can't have the rules. And the way we do things for our meetings is we do service. Our service is putting out the flyers, making the coffee, greeting people coming in, and putting the books on the table, talking to people in the meetings, just being there is a service. But that's what we do to run a meeting. We are not organized by any means. And we always forget to put something up that's supposed to go up. So we're not organized. Way far from it.
That's kind of scary to be in the woods and drinking and driving and stuff.
Yeah.
If you end up in a lake or a pond or
Yep.
hit a tree or
You go up there in the woods and you're drinking and driving and stuff or whatever you're doing up there and nobody knows where you're at. It's not good for your family or yourself to do that to yourself or them.
that's a form of meditation right there. Gaming
Yeah.
and
Yep.
If you're a recovering alcoholic, you find what brings you joy and comfort and
Yep.
other things rather
Yeah.
than the alcohol.
Yep.
Makes total sense. That's what we do. That's what a lot of recovering AAs, do is.
Yeah. For me, my meditating, especially during the winter, is my phone. I have games on this thing, and I will be on this thing all day long because it keeps my mind busy. And I forgot to take a heartburn pill this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary stuff. Scary stuff for sure. But I find different things, like I never have a certain higher power. But I do have one. I do believe in things, but I'm not a religious person. I am baptized, but I'm not religious by any means. And a lot of people, when you start talking about God, they're like, bye. But I learned it's a higher power. So that got me. I was like, okay, I can do this. Yep, being young and dumb. Yep. I used to run up in the woods too. Drunk a lot. And that was kind of dumb. Well, a lot of dumb. Because my cousin and I, we were hiding beer. Well, I had to use the restroom, and I had to have my cousin come with me. I'm like, hey, come with me. You gotta help me stay up on my feet. So he literally had to hold my hands and make sure I didn't fall down to go pee in the woods. But I couldn't find the beer. We hit them and forgot where they were. He went back and got them the next time he went up there. Yeah, I love the woods too, for sure. The woods are wonderful. It's solace, quiet, and
It's
peaceful.
it's not a place I remember drinking in the woods, but it's not a place that I associate with drinking.
Mm-mm.
I find being in the woods relaxing, calming.
Yep. I want to go fishing, but I ain't got a fishing license yet. Darn it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea.
Anyways, sis, I'm
Yeah.
gonna drop down. I gotta find the cat.
All right. And so, if there's any questions and you are okay with other people knowing the question, leave it in the comments or wait until next time and I will answer your questions as best to my ability. I love you, my dear friend, and thank you for being here. Thank you, Will, for being a co host. All right, I'll see you next time. Be safe at work. Don't let them treat you like garbage, please. But anyways, guys, that concludes my AA meeting. I'm going to say the Serenity Prayer, and then I will end the live stream. I love you guys. You mean a lot to me, and thank you for coming. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Love you all. Have a safe and wonderful week. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for my adventures. I am going to probably be uploading videos starting tomorrow. Get all of those up from my trip. And for that side of my channel, I do have a GoFundMe. If you can help donate anything at all, it is for mine and Lillian's upcoming trip to the Oregon 23 meetup. Anything is appreciated, and I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for sharing me out. I saw it there on Facebook. I appreciate you and everything you do. You bring joy and laughter to a lot of people, and you know who you are. I love you guys, and have a wonderful day and the wonderful rest of the week. Love ya. Bye till next time.